Hello, fabulous superstar Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of October 2024. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boy, is this a very special time. And it truly is so special now. Powerful energies with us on the 2nd of the month. We have a solar eclipse. Now, this eclipse will bring the larger eclipse season to an end that started last month, but the solar eclipse is taking place at the foundation of your chart, having to do with home and the past and your living situation and your family of origin. Mars in your sign is intimately involved in this eclipse. It is creating a connection of tension. And in some ways, I want to say you may want to start getting used to some of these energies for a few reasons. One is Mars is in your sign, yes. As we start the month, Mars isn't in shadow, but will go into shadow in October. I'll be here to talk about it every step of the way. I mean, there is going to be a Mars retrograde special horoscope, so be on the lookout for that. But for all that, what we get here is you getting in touch with, as part of this larger transit, your own frustrations and a sense of determination to own whatever you can own in terms of power, in terms of motivation, and taking responsibility for that so that you do take action that moves your life in the direction you desire to go, to be a force of change in your own life. And we have these big moments like this eclipse and the full moon later in the month that I'll talk about in just a moment, that in many ways is meant to remind you, awaken within you this very understanding. I always think of Mars as representing the serenity affirmation. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Well, you will be getting some very important master classes in these lessons in the months ahead, not just in the weeks ahead like people normally would. The other signs normally would. For example, normally Mars spends about 6 weeks to 7 weeks per sign every 2 years. But you are going to have this extended energy that's going to be with you on and off for months to come, right into the middle of the spring of next year. That's how long it's going to be. I spoke about this in the year ahead horoscope for your sign, but I will speak about this even more in the period coming up here on my YouTube channel, so be on the lookout for that. But all of that is to say, yeah, you probably feel frustrated at some key moments, and it is that very frustration channeled that helps you to make progress, that helps you to move your life forward in a positive direction. And the sense of accomplishment that comes from knowing that you can act on your own behalf to move your life where you want it to go, to have it come together for you, well, that just might be part of the larger learning of this time. So, powerful energy, powerful eclipse, that eclipse squaring Mars. It might be a time when you're wanting to spend more time at home, or maybe you need to spend more time with your family of origin, or want to spend more time with your family of origin. But I think a lot of Cancerians are just going to be looking at childhood patterns and the frustrations that have been there that are very, very deeply rooted, and what now you're going to do about it, how you're going to move forward with it, how you can cleanse or leave behind those things no longer serving you so that you can choose your direction going forward from here, to reconcile with the past, to put it behind you, or at the very least to see it differently enough so that you're able to move in brand new directions going forward from here. Just might be part of the energy of this time. Now, buying, selling, moving, attracting a new roommate, all of that becomes very possible in surprising ways for you that feel very unexpected, that feel like, here's a matter, you've got to deal with it, you've got to address it. And in so doing, a lot can change from the ground up. If you have a home-based business or you work with homes, this is where you might be putting a lot of effort towards the changes and growth you're desiring now. Now, navigating forward, the 9th and 12th of the month, we've got some important energies playing out here. And it's interesting, they're happening so close to each other. Two planets are standing still in the sky. On the 9th, Jupiter goes retro, and on the 12th, Pluto goes direct. Jupiter will go retrograde in the sign just before yours. So there's a lot happening on levels of soul, psyche, and spirit. But this is also about fortunate karmic closures. Knowing that sometimes it's what leaves your life that ends up being the biggest blessing. You might have a situation like that occur. I actually find important energy in the sign before yours is really about helping to connect you with a knowing. Like sometimes it's just an intuitive knowing, a cellular knowing, but it's this sense of knowing that you have so much more yet to do in this lifetime. You don't need to know all the details, how it's going to come together, but you can feel it within. And that's part of the gift of this time. When a planet is standing still, it is at the height of his power. Your spiritual mojo, your intuitive sense is going to be very high. But also possible is a feeling that you need more rest. And if that's the case, of course, you want to honor that as well. A lot can be resolved in the dream space at this time. Pluto going direct is a really big deal. In your opposite sign, you've had Pluto here and feeling Pluto in your opposite sign since 2008. This is the final moment. Once Pluto leaves this part of your sky in November, Pluto won't be back for the rest of your life. It'll be over 2 centuries before we see Pluto here again. And in November, Pluto will move on to a whole other area of life. I know I've been talking to you about that here on my channel. I'll keep talking about that as well. Having said that, yeah, this is a big deal. Again, when a planet changes directions, it is at the height of its power. You're going to be seeing key partnerships in your life differently in some way. Those one-on-one alliances are going to stir you very deeply as part of reaching a deeper honesty within yourself. Some of the most important realizations you're set to have are going to be about whom it is that you have aligned with. So big moments here, intense moments with key partnerships in your life. A lot of Cancerians are going to experience this in the context of love, though I'll talk about that in just a little bit. On the 17th of the month, we will have this month's full moon. And the full moon takes place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with what is happening with your career, with your higher direction, with your sense of purpose. It has to do with a higher, more loving vision for your life. Once again, it is Mars that is involved in this lunar event. Mars is squaring the full moon. There's that inner frustration, that inner drive that's likely to be kicked up, but it's going to feel that much more on the surface now because it is a full moon after all. And the moon is your ruling luminary. You feel full moons that much more than others out there. So yeah, a lot is going to be stirring within you in terms of wanting to understand your higher direction. And where it is that certain achievements matter to you, they are going to feel very much on the surface for you at this time. Lots of emotion stirring, maybe frustration with a boss or person in position of authority. Chiron is hand in hand with this full moon, so there's a heightened sense of vulnerability here. I'm so sorry to say, but it does happen. For all that, though, it is about identifying and claiming and owning the power that you have in this moment to figure out what it is that you want to do now and what it is you want to do next. There might be news related to a boss, a person in position of authority. It could be that one of these people leaves at this moment. It could be that a new career opportunity seems to be presenting itself, or at least career-related developments could happen at this time as well. This is a very visible part of the sky. So having Chiron here can make a person feel hyper vulnerable around their appearance or being seen more broadly. And yet, remember, you've got Mars in your sign. And even though the squares suggest frustration, there can also be a sense of motivation now, a desire to transcend, to strengthen yourself, to own your power. And that just might be the point here. To own sacred ambition so that it connects you to the energy of life, to move forward now towards the changes and the growth and the success that you know you're worthy of and that you're feeling more aware that you truly want now. Where it comes to matters of love, I'm going back to Pluto. Pluto is a really big deal of an energy here. I want you to consider that until the 17th of the month, we're also going to have Venus in a flirtatious romantic part of your sky. And so you put these pieces together, right? Pluto in your opposite sign of partnership, of relationship. Boy, if ever there was a moment that said so much is stirring for you, so much feels on the surface in terms of you and another person, your desire or your understanding of the path you've walked and what has been and where you are now and why. This really would be it. And this is likely going to be one of those moments that stands out over the course of the year for how it helped you to understand where you are in love and how you feel about it. For those of you open to meeting someone new, powerful energies at play here. In the context of new connections, as much as I love the energy in the first part of the month that's flirtatious and light with the position of Venus, it is that Pluto that suggests you might find yourself feeling powerfully pulled towards another person, or you might find yourself feeling like you want to protect yourself from other people in some way and feeling very aware of resistance that you might have to connecting with another. Either feeling, either response is valid. It's what you feel, which means that it matters. There's a deeper truth playing out here. As much as a part of you may want that heart connection with another, there might also be fear. This is your chance to look at it, to address it, to heal it, and decide on the best pathway forward for you from here now. For those of you just starting to date somebody, a lot is likely to stir. As much as I love that placement of Venus, it's lovely for dating because it's about you enjoying the company of this other person, and that can be wonderful. It's that Pluto that's going to get you really honest. If in any way this person is toxic, if in any way it's you that's bringing an energy that is in any way toxic, it is going to be made very evident now. And you get to decide what it is that you want to do with it. But it is a moment of truth here that you're set to have. And that in turn will change your understanding of what it is that you want to do next in terms of whether or not you want to continue navigating forward with this person. And for those of you in an established bond, well, look, the overwhelming majority is going to find this a time of deep connection, bonding with your partner. The Venusian placement brings with it a sense of lightness, a desire to enjoy each other, but it is that Pluto placement that helps the two of you feel that much more deeply bonded. There is going to be a small percent out there. If you have felt for a while that maybe you're not in the right relationship for you, a lot of that is going to stir so strongly for you at this time. There is a deep frustration and these hurts that in some cases might go way back. All of it is coming to the surface now as part of you needing to admit, to look, to accept, and from there decide what it is that you want to do next. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say, I love the energy of, well, we have that powerful eclipse energy at the foundation of your chart. And I think that's energy that Cancerians are feeling strongly right out of the gate as you begin this month. And it is ultimately about setting your foundation right and understanding your sense of rootedness in all kinds of ways now. But for all that, we do have Venus also in a heart-oriented part of the sky, which is just so sweet, so light, and ultimately will add a sense of ease, a sense of fun in the midst of some pretty important lessons and deep emotions stirring. You'll stay connected to heart and understand what it is you're truly wanting in your heart of hearts. And I think for many Cancerians, the answer is going to be joy, ease, happiness, and fun. And chances are you'll find it. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.